Testing. Testing. Testing? Testing? Okay.
I deal directly with leaders of countries. I can contact leaders throughout the world. I support our troops, but there's no way for them to win a modern war. That's been shown by the results of the past few wars. The loss of military life and civilian life is senseless. Government leaders do not realize what modern warfare is truly about yet, or don't want to admit it. I can start and end wars through my electronic, satellite, and computer skills.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
Hanging in there.
That's good at least. So it looks like we're waiting on Darius to pop in and Rambo to pop in.
I'm looking over this character sheet trying to figure out how to fill it in.
All right, I should be able to help you out with that. It's gonna take me a while to get used to everyone's voices. Oh, hang on a sec. So it's gonna take me a while to get used to everyone's voices. So who am I speaking with now?
Circle Master.
All right, great. So, which character do you have assigned to you? I cannot remember.
Aztecs Ooze?
Yeah, I don't understand how Roll20 comes up with these names. All right, so what have you done so far?
I've got what's probably 99% of a sheet made up in the Og Dude's character generator.
Okay, great. So now you
Um,
basically just have to update the character sheet on Roll20.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. By the way, how are my mic levels? Too loud? Too soft?
You sound good to me.
Okay, great.
No, it sounds good.
All right. So when you click your character, I think it should default to the bio and info tab. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, I can click over to character sheet and there's like
A lot of
dice
stuff.
pool, bunch of zeros.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. So once you get over near the number, just to the right of the number, often you'll see a up and down button. You can use that to either increase, decrease your attributes like your wounds, or you could just fill it into, like, how many wounds do you have total? What's your threshold?
I wait with
12.
bated breath to find that I have accidentally completely destroyed my character.
What? Did that happen?
It did the first time, but
Oh.
like the joke is that I hear like I'm like, all right, I have 13 wounds. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, Odin.
13's more than I have.
Yes, no, it was a joke because I always end up not making characters in this system, but running it.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, as long as we decide not to punch a squad of stormtroopers in the face, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think so. I'm excited about this because my last group was very combat oriented. Like every single person was built to kill people, and so we didn't do a lot else because that old saying, what is it? When the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, sort of thing. So.
I mean, yeah, the combat in this system can be real fun, but it's also a lot of fun to just see how they try to bypass the combat.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that too. So it looks like we have everyone in. What is going on with this? Current.
Yeah, just an FYI for everybody. My character's bad at pretty much everything.
This isn't Shadowrun. You can't mess up in character creation. Oh my god.
Yeah, everyone starts off weak.
But no, around like what, 50 XP in total, you'll start noticing your character will be really good at what he's supposed to be doing. So.
Speak for yourself. I plan to be awful at everything still at 50 XP.
Well, as long as you're having fun, it'll be fine.
All right, so this session is session 0. It's really just to get to know the players, kind of understand what everyone's wanting out of the game, make sure that the mics and everything are working, test out streaming. I have that going. This is the last chance. If anyone really, doesn't feel comfortable with this being recorded, let me know and I'll stop. I take that back. Anytime anyone wants me to stop streaming, let me know. I will totally be happy to do that.
I take it back. Once we're live, we keep going.
I have done
No brakes on this train.
I have done incredibly embarrassing things, far more so than this, that are on the internet.
Yeah, my live journal is still out there somewhere, so there's that.
I worked for a
Our
college
essay
sketch comedy
accounts are
TV
still out
show.
there.
Also that, yeah.
So I guess the first thing I'd like to do is kind of get to know everyone. So I'm just going to go based on the icons that are showing up on my screen. So Circle Master. If this sounds awkward or weird, I apologize in advance. But if you could let me know your pronouns, because I feel like I've messed up with that before. And I feel like it might have caused a rift. So I'd like to avoid that. So if anyone can let me know their pronouns,
All right.
and just, give me a 411 on essentially like what you're looking for in this game.
So yeah, Circle Master, he, him. I'm just looking to hang out and have fun. I'm not looking for anything that's like super deep into lore or super gamey or anything like that. I'm very much somebody who likes to go with the flow.
All right. What's something that you really like about the Star Wars setting?
Well, the Star Wars setting.
Yeah, or just the game or the concept. What's something you like about Star Wars or sci-fi or space operas in general?
Well, in terms of Star Wars specifically, I'm a big fan of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. So, since I made a scholar character, I might go off on a rant, philosophically speaking, about the Force.
Hell
So yeah,
that's
that's
good.
pretty much that's pretty much what I'm into. Is I'm into like overall themes and what drives the setting and what the I don't want to say ideological, but the I can't think of the word now. Philosophical framework, I guess, surrounding a setting.
Okay.
That I'm just a nerd that way. So.
Oh yeah, no. That I mean, so that brings up something. I am not super versed in the lore, so if I get anything wrong, feel free to spend a destiny point and tell me I'm wrong, and tell me what it really is.
What if we are actually making it double wrong? Like, who cares?
No. What this means is we have to make the Star Wars Holiday Special canon.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
already canon, bub.
Who here has seen it?
Yeah.
I have seen it. Yes.
Not sober.
I gotta say, the Boba Fett cartoon's actually not terrible.
It's not bad. I mean, it's a little rough.
The animation is terrible.
It's
Let's
standard
not
for the
forget
era.
the animated Han's face. The fact is,
Yeah.
you had 30 minutes of Wookiees grunting at each other with no subtitles.
Oh, the rest of the special was garbage.
The first 10 minutes being unsubtitled Wookiee is the best part of it.
Like, it's weirdly artistic in a way with how it just like does not add subtitles to the Wookiees.
I think the only legit one was like what, the B. Arthur song?
Yeah, and that was bad, but like it's still Dorothy from Golden Girls running a bar. So, if nothing else, there's that. But yeah, I mean, going back to what I was saying, if I'm wrong about lore, I mean, feel free to correct me. I might say no, I'm sorry, but I want to make this a collaborative storytelling experience. So I want everyone to have just as much input as I do, except for the broad strokes of the plot. So I'm going to jump over to Darius. I already know Darius from our other campaign, but just for the sake of inclusion, Darius says he, him. What are you looking for in this game?
I'm he, him. I am. I don't know. I like a lot of different things in Star Wars. I tend to be. I do a lot of world building normally, so like that's like my setting. I GM a lot. I write traditional gaming content professionally. So like world building is like my thing. So I tend towards being the person that ends up creating the floor plans of the ship and shit like that. So I like doing stuff like that, but the game doesn't have to be about stuff like that either. I'm perfectly fine with other stuff. I feel like a couple people had talked about being into the idea of sort of like not like instantly, like you can't like start with that, right? But like going off and sort of like building our own empire or some fucking thing, like some colony or something, and that would be cool. I love that kind of gameplay, but if that's not what people settle on, I'll be happy too.
All right, great. And I forgot to ask Circle Master this. I'll circle back. What's something that you would like to do or see done in this game?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely on board that specific thing that I just talked about. Like, that's definitely something that I would want to do. Some sort of like us going off and founding a colony together or something, and like I don't know. I kind of like that idea of like maybe like we get pissed off at both the Empire and the Rebellion, and so we kind of like go off and found our own thing, and we have to like sort of be space pirates and like raid for supplies and convince people to come join our colony. That'd be kind of fun. But I mean, again, like I'm flexible too. If that like ends up not being the path that everybody wants, like I'm not gonna chain myself to it.
All right, Circle, how about you? Something you'd like to see done or something you'd like to do through the course of the game?
I'd like to see my character fail to be a Grey Jedi.
So you mean fail to be a like a Force user, or you mean like fail and
when
end
I
up...
say a Grey Jedi, what I mean is the mostly fan-driven idea of a Jedi that is balanced between light and dark sides, as if that is some sort of golden mean that somebody can live in. I want to see my character try that and fail that.
Or he tries to be like Goku.
and just hit everything really hard.
My intellect stat is way too high for me to be Goku.
How many Force users we got, for the record?
I mean,
I started with one.
That are okay with publicly saying it. I'm fine if you want to be secretive about it. I don't have a problem with that.
Hello, yes, Gand is Gand Findsman. Whether or not you are aware that means Gand is a Force user, that's all on you.
So we got, it looks like 3 out of 4 then?
Give it time.
Oh,
you guys
no.
could convert the 4th.
Wait, everyone else is a Force user?
Yeah.
Apparently.
I'm literally
Oh my goodness.
I'm literally a space wizard. Like, straight up space wizard. Like, don't...
Okay, are you a space wizard that can play a saxophone?
No, instead I have cool cars.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Are there wizards painted onto the sides of those cars?
In our other campaign...
Regressing.
In our other campaign, we absolutely had the van.
Our very first fucking, like, actual mission, we literally stole some band's, like, van, like, their touring van that had space wizards on the side.
Ah, so good. All right, I'm going to pop over to Karmic Knight. Karmic Knight, pronouns, tell me a bit about yourself and what you're looking for in the game.
Alright, so, pronouns he, him, and then moving into kind of what I want to see in this game is pretty simple. I have exclusively played this game either play by post as a player or ran it. So I am at the point where anything where I am able to like live react and play as my character without having to like write out text is fine by me.
So you're just looking to play your character.
I am just looking to play a Gan Findsman who is pretty good at finding things, but doesn't really have much in the way of a moral compass.
Okay, all right. What's something that you would like to see in the campaign or would like to do throughout the course of the game?
In terms of the scope of the campaign, I would like to just kind of see us as a group sort of gain an organization. Like, even if we don't end up setting up a central authority where we are a government, us kind of getting a organization of some sort where we kind of gather followers or allies, and our kind of stuff gets more complicated, if that makes sense.
Yeah, great. Absolutely. What's something you like about Star Wars, or space operas in general?
Oh God. So I was my raised media of choice was Star Wars novels. So there is a lot there to unpack. But most recently I have been rereading the X-Wing series, which has done a good job and kind of runs counter to the the setup of this game, which is anti-war, because the X-Wing series is very much Top Gun.
Yeah, it's
but in
totally
space.
Is there space volleyball involved?
Yes, Wedge, you can be my wingman anytime.
All right. Let's go over to Rambo. Pronouns, tell me a bit about yourself and what you want out of the game.
Okay, yeah. He, him. Basically, what is it? Actually ran like 3 different campaigns using this system. Each of them ending up in more hilarious situations where one of my players during an Edge of the Empire games, when they were getting bored, it said, well, don't worry, I got a sword, we can repel. That sort of like dark comedy sort of thing that became and was enjoyable. So I'm basically, what is it, improv heavy GM, so just as long as we can just jump back and forth between the whole party and come up with crazy ideas, to come up with a non-standard solution will be fun. And in terms of Star Wars, I grew up playing actually like the old flight sim games, the TIE Fighter being like the top one for me.
So does space combat interest you at all?
Oh no, not in this system.
Okay.
There's never have been a good space combat. You played Rogue Trader, right?
Gotcha.
But no, it's more along the lines of like, yeah, that's a little bit, but then you start watching like The Empire Strikes Back, and then it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot more fun stuff in Star Wars.
All right. What's something that you would like to see happen, or something you'd like to do over the course of the campaign?
Well, I guess it's one of those things where we just come up with what our characters are and see how they develop throughout the whole course of the campaign, and see how they grow up and such. So, sort of a more narrative sort of thing. I don't know if it seems to be is we want to have a sort of small scale thing where we want to try to get away from it all and start our own colony. So that would be interesting to do. Because, you know, sometimes people don't want to do a sort of thing where we're the heroes that are going to save the whole galaxy. Or a sector, or a planet.
Okay, yeah, that seems like that might be a pretty common theme. The main thing that I want to reiterate as the way I GM is the Empire is awful, and I kind of hate any attempts for people to make them sympathetic. That's really the only theme that I want to have, is that the Empire is awful and war is bad. Anything else, I'm going to try and cater to you guys, because I've spent so much of my life running games that are just, this is my story that I want to tell, and it's the complete wrong way to GM, I think. So,
like the Shadowrun campaign.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, the GM basically has the ideas of, well, let's not do politics, although fact is, a lot of players would be more interested in trying to push out the megacorps through regaining a sort of populist vibe through it. So another player and I decided, hey, let's just be Trotskyists and sell.
Do they have paper in the Shadowrun setting?
Yep, it's called soy paper because they use soy for everything.
I thought all the magazines and papers and all were on the screen still.
No, I mean...
Which I'm blanking out on the name of.
Scream shit.
Yeah, like the latest version of the rules are trying to make it into a spy game. And you know what's a very effective form of communication that can't be intercepted online?
Huh.
A notepad with a pen.
So let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other things.
Cambot?
What's the general tone? Oh no, Cambot's just watching.
Oh, okay. I thought that was another player.
No.
Cambot is literally a camera robot.
Yes. Just a fly on the wall for me to grab the screen.
So you're not looking at your GM.
No, well, I mean, I've got 2 computers and 3 screens right now. So we'll see how this works and how well I can pay attention to things and still stream. So far, it seems like it's going kind of all right. I'd like to ask about tone. I think by default I'm kind of a serious GM, but I can really easily get into weird and lighthearted stuff. So I guess I'm kind of asking what everyone thinks they'd like to see as far as tone. Like, does anyone like absolutely not want a goofy series or absolutely not want a serious series?
I think it would be also important to just say is like similar to like these sorts of medias. Like, well, I'm expecting the campaign to be something like The Big Lebowski, something like that.
Yeah. Does anyone have any thoughts on that?
I tend to run towards serious, but still Star Wars. So there's still like serious doesn't mean that it has to be like realistic. You know what I mean?
Oh, we can't do realistic with this series or this game system. I don't think it can be done.
Yeah, it's kind of it is naturally a non-realistic thing.
We're dealing with a setting where you could just have a space wizard throw a TIE fighter at your opponent. The sort of like super seriousness of it, but I'm guessing it's something along the lines of like, I don't know, I'm guessing like I haven't seen them in years, but like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy sort of vibe people would probably want to have. Where there's like moments of serious levity, but there's also comedic moments.
Yeah, that's probably accurate. I mean, that's honestly like just like the dial turned one extra notch past normal Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Like basically main Star Wars movies, not Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One. I'm not getting the gist,
Man.
or not getting that vibe.
Rogue One was half of a good movie.
Yes,
Rogue One was
Stormtroopers in Fallujah. That
half-good
is something
movies.
uncomfortable.
Man, Star Wars is divisive. I'm not going to say whether or not I think these movies are good. I just enjoy the hell out of them. And I enjoyed Rise of Skywalker. I didn't like everything about it, but it was fun, and I got to turn my brain off and look at space wizards shoot lightning at each other. So
Yeah, I didn't show up to argue about which movies are better or worse.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah,
That's not,
Do
doesn't
that.
actually
How
fucking matter.
about something like in terms of like campaign tones? I'm thinking
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like a Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
Where, yeah, you
That's a
have
great
it
movie.
Considered very serious, but you also have a scene-chewing villain, of course, David Lopan.
That whole movie is great.
Well,
No, I didn't make my comment to try to start anything. I was just making a funny. As far as the campaign goes, the one thing that I would really like to avoid is any kind of reference to real life politics. I play games like this to get away from that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I don't need any kind of political stances to be brought up in any way, shape, or form. Thank you.
Yeah, it's 2020. We're gonna get sick of the U.S. election, so let's just maybe we could just be like, yeah, forget the whole politics thing. Let's go and become rock breakers.
I'll try and limit it.
Unless you really want us all to become communists and distribute newspapers behind stormtroopers' back.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% down with any of that. But yeah, I'll try and keep it fairly neutral. And I mean, really, it's going to depend more on what you guys want. I mean, in the last game I played in, we really quickly turned one of the characters into a Richard Spencer-esque guy, and he became the major. I mean, really, he was the major antagonist of the game. But that's something that really evolved from the players. So if you guys shy away from that, I don't think I'll have much of a problem doing the same. And this is a point to a lot of different things. If there's something I'm doing that you don't like or makes you feel uncomfortable or is bothering you, just let me know like as soon as possible, and it'll probably end up with me not doing it anymore, because I want to make sure everyone's having fun. So kind of long and short of it. So on that note, there are a bunch of subjects that I don't want to include, mainly like the darker stuff that you'd more likely find in like a Fatal game.
I think is, do we really want to go into like this war of mine lord sort of levels, where it's just going to be an exhausting thing about how war is horrible, and you'd be like, God, I just feel depressed.
I mean,
I would rather not go that route.
Yeah, I would also prefer not to sort of belabor the point that war is bad. That's one of the central fundamental kind of underpinnings of the setting and this game, but it doesn't need to be visceral.
Yeah, I don't want to make it. I don't want to give you guys the choice of, you know, do you protect your entire colony and just let one small child have bad things happen to them? I'm going to try and avoid stuff like that. Yeah. By the way, Darius just brought up the trolley problem. If you have a chance, check out the game Trial by Trolley by the guys who made Cyanide and Happiness. It is a fantastic party game. We just played it last night, and I really like it. Very much one of those games that has everyone try and give the other person like the hardest choice of, do I kill all the puppies in the world or someone that's going to create renewable energy? So good times. Won't be happening in this game though. Don't want to do that.
Because, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, like, man, I really do not want to do, like, what is it, Central European Prometheus game set in 1930. It's like, no, I know of a GM that did this, and he told me how he and all his players are very depressed about it.
Yeah, I think we all want to avoid all of that. So I'll be keeping all pretty much all the darker stuff out. And I mean, I know slavery is an issue in the Outer Rim. I'm gonna try and avoid it unless you guys go seeking out slavers to kill and free their slaves.
We formed the Twin Lamp.
But I think for the most part, I really just want to give you guys a sandbox to play in. So I guess we can.
Yeah, if I can jump in.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if it needs saying, but can we avoid any like sexual content in this?
Yeah, 100%.
Again, just to make it clear, I don't know if it, like I said, I don't know if it needed to be said, but
I think it was implied with like the darker aspects of war.
Yeah, definitely not that. But as far as like romance, I mean, I don't think any of you guys are really interested in role playing out romantic scenes with me through one of my NPCs.
No.
I don't want to assume, but so, and you know, I think the way I handled it in my last game is I just asked the GM, I'm like, hey, can I just make an NPC for my character to have a relationship with? He's like, yeah, I don't care. And I said, okay. And that's it. You know, like if you want to make up an NPC, like a friend or a companion or sex robot, whatever, I mean, have at it, do your character. But we definitely I don't think anyone wants to roleplay that out.
Just a tasteful fade of black, and that's it. So basically, we're going to have a freedom to like really flesh out the setting too.
I want that, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because
So they'll be like, if you turn right over here, there's a very good Reuben. We're kind of being chased by some Imperials right now, so just...
yeah, I mean, another being honest moment. I'm really lazy, and I have a lot of shit going on, so I'm gonna put a lot of effort into this game, but I don't want to put more effort than I need to. So I'm gonna lean on you guys for a lot of it, especially like the lore stuff and I can only imagine you guys are going to get like a group of followers at some point, and I'd love for you guys to be responsible for fleshing them out and fleshing your living area out. I think that's more interesting than me telling you guys your options.
Yeah, I think, especially as a GM that ran the system several times, it's a lot more forgiving if you are a lazy GM and you're like, I just put down a sentence. Let's see where they go from.
Yeah, this is a thing where, especially with the Destiny points, like the game encourages the players to just kind of establish.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a Power by the Apocalypse system, so it's so much better than the a more binary success failure system like.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of pass fail games, and I guess kind of to that point too. What I'm also going to lean on you guys on a lot for is rules. If your character can do something or has a piece of equipment, I'm hoping you know what that is, because this game has so much gear, like so much gear. So if you want to use a grenade, please know how grenades work and be ready to explain it. That'd be perfect.
Welcome to the Shadowrun, Rob.
I think I played Shadowrun like twice, and that was enough for me. It's a neat system, but man,
it's not a neat system when it takes a week for someone that doesn't know how to make their characters make it. And I was helping a friend do his and told him, look here, you're going to be a lot more effective starting out at street level because the GM wants that if you became a mage.
I take it back. It's a neat setting. I think it's a neat setting. I do not care for the system.
It's got some bad 1980s holdovers where trolls and orcs that are hard-coded to be black are racially dumber because of their genetics.
Yeah.
It's the same problem in a lot of traditional gaming that's being struggled with now, and why like Pathfinder 2nd Edition has moved away from that with like ancestries instead of racial bonuses and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing my own little homebrew setting, I like try to get away from that. I'm like, okay, let's not get into that because it's like 2020. I don't want to deal with like holdovers from the 1980s, especially how they did.
All right. So yeah, that pretty much covers the rules. I'll do what I can to know what I'm doing. If I'm doing something wrong, let me know. I'll fix it. If we're not sure about a ruling, we'll just go with whatever I think works. And we can discuss it afterward, or we can look it up afterwards. Because I don't really want the game to get bogged down with, all right, well, we got to find out how this works. And for that sort of thing, I'll try and err on the side of the players, because I don't want to make it seem like I don't want to kill your characters, but I do want to menace them.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put the burner on their feet, but it's also a lot of work, especially when you kill them, because you'll be like, fuck, I lost all of these plots.
Yeah. Let's see. Does anyone have any points they want to bring up now, or questions they want to ask?
Well, I should probably mention I've got cognitive difficulties for me. So if I ever misspeak or I ask you to repeat something, it's just my brain didn't process it quickly. So just give me some patience in that regard.
Okay. Yeah.
No worries.
Same. I will probably ask people to repeat themselves because I've got ADHD. I'm not likening it to anything. I'm just saying I understand how it is to have to ask for repeats. So yeah, I definitely won't have any problem repeating myself. Anyone else? Well, I think if that's it for kind of the getting to know you section of this session, why don't we talk a bit about our characters? So, does anyone have any questions as of right now about rulings on starting characters?
I'm unclear on how much obligation we should be taking.
On obligation? Oh, yeah. Okay. That's something good we can talk about. So,
You have 10 for sure, right? Like, you just have to have 10.
yeah, 10 is the minimum, and you can take an extra 5 or 10 to get extra experience points or credits, or credits. But as far as what obligations you should be taking, I mean, that's up to you guys. If anyone wants to know each other or maybe have the same obligation, like you owe the same guy, or you're looking after the same group of people, or whatever, this would definitely be the time for everyone to collaborate and come up with maybe some interwoven backstories.
Well, before we do that, can I ask, can we get a vague idea of where we'll be starting? Like, you don't have to give
Yeah.
the story away, but, like, a vague idea of where we're starting would be good to know, like, where we need to be at.
Gotcha, yeah. So the story is starting on Ord Thoden, which is basically right at the edge of the Outer Rim. So it's at the end of a hyperlane highway, or backwater planet. It was rocked with really serious earthquakes. It's a highly volcanic planet, but it's also highly profitable because it has this ore that's used for transparasteel and starfighter cockpits and that sort of thing. So it's a mining facility, edge of the Outer Rim. Very separated class system. You've got kind of the poor people living just off of the surface, and then you've got the those with means living on what amounts to be space platforms. And as of now, the Galactic Civil War has largely untouched your lives, unless you really want it to. But the planet at large is not involved at all.
Cool. Let's see here. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, like for motivations and obligations, it's also this thing you can just put in and just ask the GM if that's going to be fine for it. Being like, yeah, I owe this person a lot of money, and I kind of want to hide, or I actually had to basically change my whole name and identity because I messed up so badly. I'm hidden. So if this ever triggers, it's people looking for my old identity.
Well,
Yep.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have I have 5 open-ended obligation that can be anything or whatever it's called. So I can very easily tie that to like something that happened with another character, or like if it doesn't fit, like I'll just make something up. But I left 5 of it open to be something that I can use as a tool during session 0.
Yeah, one of my 2. I have 2 obligations, both at 10 points, and one of them is just that this character was contracted to come to Ordthoden for reasons that he doesn't know until presumably sessions start. Which I can kind of finagle that and change that around if there's something that would fit in more with the narrative.
Let's see.
My character is a political exile. I wrote down that he tried to start a revolution in Toydaria. That fell to the wayside very quickly, and now he's hiding out here. And his motivation is to create a political legacy. So, trying to be thinking a lot bigger than himself.
Well, that'll fit in with some of the things we've talked about being a future goal. We're gonna found our own fucking like colony or empire or some damn thing. I think we know who's gonna be the political figurehead.
Yes. I will try to be, your group's George Washington and not the Napoleon Bonaparte or Lenin or maybe all of them. We don't know. Odds are I'm just going to be leaning on you guys for the actual advice.
I don't know. Napoleon Bone Washington sounds like a very Star Wars name to me.
If you really want to know, there was actually a great one in the original Rogue Trader rulebook of an Inquisitor named Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau.
What?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, God.
Just put it in a name blender.
Well, I'm playing basically a space wizard who grew up on a ship graveyard where we got lots of news, but nothing ever left the planet. So, I left it pretty open-ended why I am where I am. But basically, I have a sister who joined the rebellion, and it wasn't for me. So, I've got some obligation that's open-ended that I mark down as like a having a bounty on my head, but I could easily shift it to something else, and I'd be fine. Like making like a character tie with someone else or something. Like maybe like I did something to help them, or they did something like I fucked up and they got me out of it or something. Like I don't know, but that could be the reason for my obligation.
As not as it. I also wrote down the bio, and sooner or later you're going to actually show all of our sheets to the rest of the players.
I don't think we like are inherently sharing our sheets with each other or anything. I don't care. Personally,
just so we can actually get our names on the right side on the PC.
What exactly do you mean?
Just have our rest of our sheets be viewable by the rest of the players instead of just one of us, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there should be like a permissions level that lets you see bio and info for everyone.
So, first of all, does anyone have any problems with sharing their character sheets? Just seeing. Does anyone want their character explicitly to be secret?
Yeah, I don't care. I just assume people are not going to metagame if it even matters at all in a game like this. So
I would say is I don't care at all, but more importantly, it would actually lead to fun discussions when we out of character know what's happening, because there's that point where someone gets frustrated because they have this grand plan, but it isn't going to come through because it's like, we haven't been able to communicate it outside.
Yeah, I definitely think that communication and transparency is good, especially since I'm really hoping you guys don't want to do PvP at any point.
No PvP, please.
I can't imagine this game system working PvP well, so.
Jesus God, no.
We'll be here all week, just trying to get one fight out of the way.
3 seconds to depending on who's fighting, I guess.
Yeah.
With our group, we'd probably be here for 3 weeks with all of us flailing at each other ineffectually. But
Hey!
Well, trying to strain each other
Gand
out.
can shoot.
maybe not you. Maybe you just kill all of us and sit atop the pile.
Gand can go to extreme range and shoot you all.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this is the point where Cambot betrays the heart.
So,
Well, 3 Cambot to go Cambot.
oh, Cambot's a neutral observer in all this. You leave Cambot out of this. So
Where's the man neutral?
So I'm just going to go ahead and set in players' journals, just everyone can see it for all characters. So that should kind of resolve this issue. But I'll leave it so that only the GM and the player themselves can edit it.
Good, yes, now everyone can read all that remains of the backstory that I accidentally deleted.
All players, yeah. All right.
I haven't even gotten started typing my notes, so you're ahead of me in that regard.
Mine is just a reference to an Woody Allen sketch.
All right. So we got the 4 PCs. Is everyone seeing those in their journal?
Yep.
All right. Rad. So yeah, you guys can work out amongst yourselves if you want to share any backstory. But I mean, long and short of it, the main things on this planet are the Dorvala Mining Company, Bengal Shipbuilders, the XQ-1 space platforms, and there's also Farnsmetter Holocron Broadcasting, which is like a little independent HoloNet network. Other than that, you're going to be hard pressed to find anything outside of mining and smelting on this planet. But you
Hard to find anything.
Yeah, it's doable.
We'll find that when it whatever deity is in Star Wars.
Circle Master, I think your connection is jumbled. Is anyone else noticing that, or is it just me?
Yeah, I'm noticing it.
Okay. Just wanted to bring that up in case there's something you could do about that. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, anything you guys you want to discuss? Maybe come up with some like who knows who, as far as characters go.
Do we have like a mission or something that we know we're going to be doing, or maybe we could say that we all ended up here because we did a mission together before or something? Like we did.
Oh, we were at the same sandwich place.
It starts in a tavern. Yeah, I would
More
say,
along the lines of a Jewish deli.
you could say you went on a past mission. I don't want to give away what's coming. But you can certainly have a shared backstory of some sort.
Do I sound any better now?
Yes, so far.
Yes.
Cool.
Oops. They won't have any thoughts on who might, or I guess it might be easier just to figure who wouldn't know everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, we could easily have had like something that we did together that landed us here. I don't know, like maybe we got hired to do something, and
We all took the same economy.
That I can
hours.
definitely agree. I can believe.
spent hours getting drunk together and bitching about our respective terrible fortunes.
Yes. And
I
then
know far
complain
too
about the
much
fact
about-
is we all flew with like the, you know, what's the cheap airline? Spirit Airlines in the United States.
Yeah, Spirit
People would
Starlines.
dime you for every little thing.
I like it. I like it already. So that puts us all in the same thing, and now we're all sort of, I don't know, hanging out in the same, you know, cantina. That's what Star Wars calls them.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody have like a good obligation or something like that? That's like a I don't know, like a debt or like a bounty or something like that.
I mean, Kaban usually hunts bounties rather than has them.
There's one way to get rich. Put a bounty on yourself and hunt yourself.
Well, wherever you go, there you are. You just always winning.
Yes, it's like, this one keeps finding his bounty whenever he looks at a mirror.
I could maybe be like a bounty that that your findsman caught and like took in or something. Maybe it was like a misunderstanding, like a parking ticket or something. Like that was small change.
Hilariously, that is how one of the players got rid of a person, because he spent a destiny point to say he had a bunch of unpaid parking.
Yeah, the idea of having captured a character on a minor charge, but being somewhat impressed is appealing.
Cool, that's a good start. I have absolutely no ability to get away from you whatsoever in any of my skills or anything. So,
Well, you can just roll the cry.
oh, I'm sorry. I could threaten you. I'm very good at threatening people. I just can't back it up with anything. I could probably convince you that, like, maybe, like, you turn me in for that, and then, like, afterwards, like, I'm looking for work or something, and we end up on the same... we end up on that flight together, and it's like, oh, you're the guy who took me in. No hard feelings.
And you have somehow convinced Kaban of your competence in various areas.
Maybe I knew some critical information or something. I do have some knowledge. Like I've got 2 lore and 1 outer rim, so I'm like fairly like knowledgeable about things.
Well,
Maybe he
Kaban
just
is
takes you in
completely
because he
bad.
needs that knowledge.
Kaban is very bad at knowing things about the galaxy. That's kind of where he is at.
So that means is that Kaban knew he knew nothing. So he started at the beginning of all knowledge and decided to hire someone that had some knowledge. Puts up an ad on Space Craigslist.
And I just happened to show up. Perfect. All right, so that's how we know each other, and then we meet the other 2 people on this flight, the same flight we're on, maybe, and we end up getting off the flight and deciding to continue drinking at the same cantina.
Yes.
Good start. That's at least it's at least more than a casual acquaintance. We at least get along well enough to continue drinking together for several days.
Ah, yes, and I regale you about what it is. It is a gal whale sandwich here.
And I know far more about Toydarian politics than I ever expected to.
Yes, I didn't expect to be rolling up a Toydarian, but then I'm like, yeah, you know what? Might as well do that. Might be.
All right, pretty solid start. I'll probably make Probably make my obligation something instead of bounty, since I already discharged a bounty then. Anybody else have any things they want to throw out there?
Not off the top of my head. Anyone else?
Alright.
So,
Well,
sounds like a pretty good starting point as far as your character's history together. And if you guys could do me a favor, I already got one from one of you, but if the rest of you could just write a short bio. I mean, it could just be a paragraph if you really don't care that much. It could be a full page. Just giving me some idea of your character and history and motivations. It would be helpful.
Is the bio and info paragraph on the sheet, is the one that's there good enough?
Probably. I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
God, it reminds me when my player gave me like an 8,000 word bio. He's like, yeah, I kind of blacked out and just kept writing. I don't know.
I've done that before. I've done that for characters before.
Yes, but I think the most famous one in the whole fucking hobby is fucking Old Man Henderson.
I don't think I've read that one.
Oh, you never heard of Old Man Henderson?
I'm gonna find out soon. I know about Sir Barrington. That's one character I really like. Not much of a backstory, though.
Oh, God. It was a character that a guy did for a Call of Cthulhu. Derailed it because the GM was very adversarial to the point it wasn't fun.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, no. My coworker regaled me at length about this character. So, yeah, now I recognize him once I saw the amazing artwork. So one thing I would like to suggest is if we could keep out-of-character chatter in Discord and maybe in-character chatter in Roll20, that would really help keep everything in separate boxes. So we're not looking for out-of-character stuff in the in-character area and vice versa. Just a recommendation.
Okay, yeah. I can do. I'll try and do that. One thing. If we are starting a colony, do you want to do time skips, or do we want to do time skip?
Do what skills?
Time skips, as in.
Oh.
You really want to do the day-to-day activity, or do you want to wait and just do something like for 3 months you do these X things and then crisis comes?
Yeah, I'm interested in hearing what everyone thinks about that sort of thing. Because I'd be open to time skips where everyone just says, this is what my character did in the X weeks that we have in downtime. But if you guys really want to sit down and play Pathfinder Kingmaker, we could do that.
I was thinking it's more along the lines of you're playing like one of those Paradox games, and you just be like, okay, we're gonna skip to the point when the fort actually gets built. So, unless there's like 3 different comet-sided events.
Yeah, I feel like that will probably end up happening if we get if and when we get to the point where we're doing stuff like that. But it will also depend, probably on what Furious wants to throw at us, right? Like if there's a problem with the fort being built, then we'll probably not time skip all of it.
Yeah,
if
as I said, we time skip up to a crisis point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Once we have enough layers of kind of bureaucratic tatter that we're just issuing orders, that would be when we'd kind of hit a point where we've kind of edged out of just playing this game until we hit the points where we have to do things that aren't just everyday labor, because that's not a game. Simulationist working every day is Star Wars Combine, not Edge of the Empire.
So GM, can I get a bureaucracy skill when we get to that point?
Bureaucracy skill?
Just roll bureaucracy.
Oh yeah. We could do something along those lines.
Just leadership.
My only regret is that this system did away with knowledge bureaucracy.
I mean, my player actually gave himself a special skill called Embezzlement, because that was part of his background. He was an exiled ex-imperial governor who decided to lay low after his side lost the war and all of that, and basically used all his money to change himself at all, because he was a very highly...
Yeah, I'm not at all opposed to players coming up with custom skills, mainly because I feel like it's probably balanced well enough where you're sinking experience points into those skills anyway. And if it's something like bureaucracy, knowledge bureaucracy...
if you create a skill too, like, it's never going to have any talents associated with it. It's never going to have, like, anything that refers to it. Like, if you really want to spend XP on that, like, if anything, it's going to be very underpowered.
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to be overpowered.
Oh, you do not know the power of bureaucracy.
Yeah, but what you're really saying is, you do not know the power of my ability to convince the GM to do things that I want, which isn't really tied to a skill.
No. We're going to be talking about those parking tickets, and I'm going to tell you that you did not sign the proper forms for that.
Yeah, I can. The thing is, I can see it being fun. I don't want to say everyone has carte blanche to make up skills, but I definitely encourage it if you really want to make your best life. Don't have any problem with that at all. Let's see. What else was I going to talk about? Speaking of bureaucracy and record keeping and everything, I want to leave this to you guys. In my last campaign, I feel like it worked pretty well where we had a thread in the SA forums, and we just, after each session, did like a really quick and dirty recap. We gained X experience, maybe wrote a blurb about our characters, like thoughts and feelings about what happened. Like maybe you wanted to have the spotlight for just a little bit longer, or you thought of something later that you wanted to bring up, but ended up keeping it to yourself. But it's also a really good way to track things, because we had one player who had a hard time with how many experience points they had. So we could just really easily look back and say, yeah, we had X experience at the end of this one, that sort of thing. So if you guys want to do that, highly encourage it, especially if we're doing the thing where I give you guys experience points for, I think it's playing to your motivation. I want to give everyone as many experience points as they deserve. But to be quite honest, I'm going to forget who has what motivation and whether or not they played to it for a particular session. So what I'd like is for everyone to at least tell me, okay, well, I played to my motivation in this session because, and just like one sentence, tell me why you did it, and bam, extra experience points. But if you don't want to do it, I want to make sure everyone knows it's not a requirement.
I'm certainly down.
I mean, I'll be down for it, so don't worry.
Yeah, I'm I'm interested and invested in probably having that post game rush of endorphins that I will then be able to just kind of knock out some writing.
It's even if you just use it to record like your XP log or whatever, it's actually like really useful for that.
Yes, because what I did in my campaigns, I just put a handout on Roll20 and updated it each session to let them know their total XP. Because I basically said, okay, campaign's going to end at this set mark of XP, because that's basically when you guys are at the level where nothing can really be a challenge anymore.
Okay, so yeah, that brings up another good point. Do we want to find like a hard stopping point on this, like where nothing is a challenge anymore? We just find a way to end the story.
I mean,
end the story or retire these people to NPCs.
I feel like that's sort of like the group talks about it when it reaches that point kind of
True.
thing, because like I think that
we'll know when it happens, but what we want to do after that, because like Ramba said, we'll have an organization under us that we can then pull NPCs from that.
True, yeah.
Yes, we'll be playing as the underlings, the disposable underlings.
All right. So yeah, I guess that's something to keep in mind though, for sure. Like when you're like, yeah, this character's kind of getting old. I wanna phase him out. And if everyone else feels that way, then we'll just see what happens. But if for whatever reason you don't like playing your character and want to touch up, let me know. We'll see what we can work out that makes sense inside the narrative of the story. Let's see, what else? Can anyone think of anything they want to bring up right now?
I think we're good. I can't think of anything.
Oh, I do want to bring something up. So I want to give 2 experience points per session for playing to your motivation. But I'd also like to give 2 experience points per session for people that really help out with like GM chores. So it's basically a way of bribing the GM or bribing the players to help me. But like I know with the last game, Darius, you took care of like a lot of the like schematics and everything for the base that we all had. If someone wants to take care of that sort of thing, if someone wants to take care of record keeping would be really, really helpful.
I have no problem doing that stuff again, but like I don't want to. Like, I don't have to take it if someone else wants to do stuff. Like I'm not gonna like try and monopolize that, whether it's for XP or not.
Yeah.
I naturally world build, so I'm gonna want to do it.
I mean, yeah, just give me a while, because I'm actually the only one that's sort of proactive in the Shadowrun campaign, and it's just getting kind of tiring. Really.
I am willing to take notes. I am not going to claim that those notes are going to be accurate or good, but they will be attempting to make myself laugh.
Sure, yeah.
Like, there was a game that I was playing in wherein the party was a bunch of Sith, and I just kind of basically wrote down a bunch of comical notes as we were playing, because I did not take it seriously, because it was an evil campaign, and who fucking gives a shit?
Was it everyone just trying to out edgelord the other players?
Well, not really. It was mostly very sad because all the rest of the players made, like, kind of down on their luck sad versions of characters. I made the dude from The Big Lebowski if he was a Sith Lord. And then we had a guy who changed characters into a vampire Sith Lord who introduced himself as some sort of, like, comical Darth name, but I then called him Ted, and that became his name.
just Ted.
He ate the brain of his previous character and said, "Yes, I am Lord Evil." And I just was like, "Ted, my man, how you been? Haven't seen you since classes."
I mean, it's a hot topic campaign. I think that's going to be one of the better ways to do an evil campaign than just, like, getting the GM uncomfortable as you want him to describe you torturing.
Yeah, that's pretty much not what I'm here for.
Yes, no. When I'm faced with stuff, I tend to punch towards comedy, which I will be resisting that urge in this case because I don't want to punch too far into absurdity. But I am kind of incapable of playing a very kind of dark campaign because my natural inclination is to make fun of it.
All right, yeah. So I feel like we're all pretty much on the same channel as far as tone goes. Man, let me think. What? So I guess, does anyone have anything else they want to add? Or if not, I mean, we can go ahead and call it here. Oh, did we all want to do a weekly campaign? Like, did anyone not want to do every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern?
Well, I won't be able to be here when the Super Bowl is on.
Yeah.
That is my one caveat.
On the second, but I'm fine with a weekly campaign.
Okay.
If you're able to handle that, bi-weekly is also fine.
I like weekly better because if we only have like 2 to 3 hours, might as well do that as much as possible so we keep the momentum going. Just so long as...
it's also easier once it becomes a routine and everyone knows.
Yeah.
Okay, set time aside for...
So many campaigns have died because either people took a break or, oh, we're going to play once a month, and then it becomes, oh, well, what night were we playing again? Oh, I made plans that night. So, yeah, I would prefer weekly, just so long as no one has any objections with it.
None whatsoever. I prefer weekly too. So. Although there's been a monthly campaign that happens like once every 3 months and all that we just go ahead and go, and it's been about 3 years already. So it really just depends if you just get sorts of people that are mature and disciplined enough to be able to set aside time for it. And it's just very hard.
All right. So, did anyone want to talk about anything else? Discuss anything else? Any questions, concerns, that sort of thing? Or if not, we could call it here. And if anyone needs help with their character sheets, I can help out with that, or just call it a night.
Yeah, I can't think of any issues. I think we're ready to call it.
All right. So great. Yeah. Looking forward to this. I'm ready with your first mission, and then after that, I'm going to try and open it up into as big a sandbox as possible, and then we'll see what you guys choose from there.
All right.
All right. Well, good job, everyone. We had words. We talked.
Hopefully
How much
no
XP do we get for
this
this session?
Bad if you be like, oh
You,
no, I forgot the thing.
you get your starting XP for this session. Not again,
Oh.
just the first time.
Oh,
I get 110 more XP?
come on now. This is 10 to 20 per session. We can at least get a pittance. Come on now.
You get a pat on the back and a good jab. I don't know. You know
Oh,
what? You know what?
no.
Everyone gets 2 experience for this session. Since you guys asked nicely.
I was about to say, there actually was a campaign I was in where we didn't even do leveling up and all that, and it was just fun. So yeah, it does exist.
Well, you
Not in my world.
yeah, enjoy that 2 experience. One day it'll be worth something. But yeah, I guess for now,
I'm gonna try not to spend it all in one place.
yeah.
It will actually, empirically, never be worth anything because everything in the system is in 5s. So
Yeah, but then you get 2 experience 5 times. Bam, 10 experience. That's 2 5s.
God help me.
Wow, look at this chauvinism. My character only has 3 fingers.
All right. Well, I will talk to everyone next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. Night, everyone.
See ya.
Good night.